What's up, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the All About the Birds Network. I am your host, Eagle Jeff Warner, and alongside me, as always, is my buddy Peenut. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. Vinny's Pizza is located off of Iroquois Trail in Allentown in the Old Town Shopping Center. They are open Monday through Saturday, serving you their delicious Italian cuisine that includes pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and much more. Check out their daily and game day specials today. They are available for pickup and delivery. You can order today by calling 610-395-2300 or visiting vinnyspizzapa.com. Again, that's 610-395-2300 or visiting vinnyspizzapa.com. Tell Vinny and Caesar that the Birds, Beers, and BS crew did send you. And we have a great show on tap for you guys today. Later on, we'll dive into Peenut's top 3 Marvel movie list. And we want to hear your thoughts on that. Again, make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing it out. Tell your friends. Leave comments. Leave positive reviews. Leave negative reviews.
Hell yeah.
If you hate what the hell we're saying, fucking tell us. We want to know what you guys think of the show. Again, this is a shit show. But first, look, this is an Eagles show. We'll dive into the Marvel stuff in a little bit. We'll get to the BS part, but there is a little bit of some Eagles news, not news, but a little bit of discussion that's been partaking over the last week or so. Granted, look, it's the off season.
Right.
People are looking forward to the 2021 season, which thankfully we are officially in July. Happy 4th of July weekend this coming weekend. Make sure you stay safe. But this is the final month of the calendar year that we will not have football.
Yep. And then we'll be back at it. Actually talking about stuff that's actually happening too, instead of this side shit, man.
Eagles training camp kicks off July 27th, so a little bit over 3 weeks away. We will be talking about the in-depth practices of Philadelphia Eagles football, and we will have football, NFL, regardless if it's Eagles or not, till through February of next year. So we will have football. Next time we won't have football is March of next year, which is fabulous if you're an NFL fan.
Fabulous.
But there was a little bit of an article written, I believe, today or yesterday on NFL.com, and it was ranking the running backs heading into 2021.
Okay.
And the article, I forget who it was by. Let me see who it was by real quick. Sorry, my printer was not working, so I apologize. But it was by former running back, NFL running back, Maurice Jones-Drew, who's a current NFL.com analyst.
Yep.
You see him on NFL Game Day and all of that.
Right.
And when he was ranking the running backs in the NFL, where would you think he would have Miles Sanders on that list?
And I didn't see this, so I'm going to say 15, maybe 15, 16.
20 freaking 7.
Yo, we're not getting any respect, bro.
He has Miles Sanders outside of the top 25 running backs in the National Football League. And this is what he had to say about Miles Sanders. Saying Sanders has shown flashes of being a really good player in both the run and passing games over his first 2 seasons. He was more productive as a runner in 2020, averaging 5.3 yards per carry, but wasn't the pass-catching threat he was in his rookie season. Sanders must show up and have a Saquon Barkley-esque impact on the offense to help elevate pressure from the second-year quarterback Jalen Hurts. I'm looking for more consistency here, and that's from Maurice Jones-Drew when he's putting together his rankings, which I do not disagree with.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of agree with what he's saying there.
I do not disagree that, look, Miles Sanders had a letdown 2020 campaign. He did not live up to the hype and not live up to his mouth, backing up his talk when saying he was going to be Mr. 2,000 yards off from all scrimmage.
Right.
But he still had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage last year.
Right.
He still was averaging over 5 yards a carry, I believe what it was from what I remember. I don't know off the top of my head.
It was like 5.3 or something like that. Yeah.
He was still a productive running back in the National Football League. The issues that Miles Sanders had last season, don't get me wrong, pass catching ability, he did not live up to that. There was a lot, whether it's miscommunication between him, Carson Wentz, the offense, whatever. But you have to remember, he was averaging less than, I think, 16 touches a game.
Right. Yep.
He did not have a healthy offensive line that we expected to have last season.
Right.
He did not have tremendous quarterback play from Carson Wentz. He did not have a great head coach play calling the offense.
Right.
Granted,
then maybe it's fair to rank him at 25 then. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Maybe that's fair. The more and more you talk about it, the more and more I'm like, you know what? I could kind of see why he would put him at 25.
27, not even 25. He was outside of 25. So out of starting running backs, he has Miles Sanders as the 5th worst running back in the National Football League, which is absolute garbage. This is a dude that combined his first 2 years has over 2,300 yards from scrimmage. He's had great. Last year he didn't have double-digit touchdowns, but his rookie year he still put up a hell of a year. Yeah. Last year he still put up a decent season.
Decent. That's the word.
But the thing,
he doesn't scare anybody.
I would somewhat disagree with that. Miles Sanders right now, who on this offense scares you on this if you're opposing defense, who are you game planning against right now?
With the roster as it is right now?
On the offense.
First of all, it'd be Jalen Hurts.
Well,
his running ability is also scary.
He's the quarterback.
Right. Other than that, it would honest Devontae Smith would be the
How can you say that? We're expecting
Movie doesn't scare me, man.
We're expecting Devontae Smith to have a great breakout rookie campaign.
But that's
We're hoping. But we expected that from Jalen Reagor last year, and it failed out. Miles Sanders has shown that he has been a consistent player on this Eagles offense.
But we don't consistently run the ball, so why?
We're hoping that changes, though.
Yeah, okay. All right, I see what you're saying. If that changes, then maybe. But I see when I said 15, 16, you know what I'm saying? It's because he doesn't strike fear. Like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not so worried about Miles Sanders. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Henry. He's not a guy that can single-handedly just change the game, bro.
But he's an elusive threat, though. He's a guy that can take it out of the backfield, take it the distance. Right. If he has the lanes and the vision, he can break out and be that big game threat.
Coulda, woulda. But you know what I'm saying? 25 is fair, man.
The more
27. 27 is fair, man. Look, you're gonna break your shit, son.
You literally just said Miles Sanders was 15. Which I have.
Yeah, but the more and more I start thinking about it, I'm like,
he is not the 5th worst running back in the league.
I don't know.
Look at this horrible list. So you're telling me that Chase Edmonds is ahead of Miles Sanders.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
A guy that only had 448 yards rushing last season. Okay. Are you telling me that Raheem Mostert is ahead of Miles Sanders? A guy that had only 521 yards rushing. Granted, he only played 8 games last year.
Right.
Are you telling me Melvin Gordon is better than Miles freaking Sanders? Look at this list that he compiled. Mike Davis.
Now, does a team, maybe the offensive line and all that shit goes into it too, though. You know, it's not, maybe he's
the offensive line is coming back full strength. You have an all-pro with Jason Kelsey. You still have Lane Johnson on the outside. You're getting Brandon Brooks, who's a former all-pro, hopefully fully healthy. So
this is based off of last season, though.
No, he's basing off going into this year.
This season? Okay.
Into this year.
Okay.
His ranking of quarterbacks, which, granted, I'll say their numbers play an effect in, I believe, his quarterback rankings.
Okay.
But this is an absolute outrage if you're an Eagles fan. First, Jalen Hurts is left off Chris Sims' top 40 list. Now Miles Sanders is considered the 5th worst running back in the National Football League. Yeah. Fucking get out of here, man.
Y'all should see how red his face is right now. I hope that camera's catching it.
Well, no, that's the lupus talking right now.
Yeah, you know what? I don't. It's really not disrespectful until these guys show improve. Look, man,
he's had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah, but
2 straight seasons.
What I'm saying is,
how's he not proving it?
He's not proving it.
The team was horrible last year. You cannot put that on the shoulders of Miles Sanders how bad the quarterback play was. The injuries to the offensive line. You cannot put that on Miles Sanders.
Okay, so listen, where do you rank him at?
I have him roughly about what you have.
15, 16?
15, 16 there. He's middle of the pack right now, and I agree.
Right.
Until he can prove that, look, Miles Sanders is not going to be the workhorse that Derrick Henry is or Saquon Barkley.
No, it's not built like that.
Teams that are relied on a single running back.
Right.
The Eagles' offense, there's a reason why they have 15, 20 running backs currently on their roster. They are going to not wear down their running backs' legs early on the season. You're going to have that change of pace back, whether it's going to be Kerryon Johnson, Boston Scott, or whoever is going to be the backups to Miles Sanders.
Right.
But Miles Sanders has proved to me, at least his first 2 years, that he is better than the 5th worst starting running back in the National Football League.
Okay.
The fact that a former NFL player and a former Pro Bowl and possible All-Pro, I can't remember if he got it or not, Maurice Jones-Drew, assembled this list, a guy that played in the league, and he's going to have Miles Sanders, one of the more better dynamic dual threat running backs in the league, to be the 5th worst. That is a slap in the face to Miles Sanders.
You know what? There's a lot of hate going on. It seems like everyone's really down on the Eagles. But I rightfully so, man. Last year was so bad that I think everyone's turned off by the way this organization's been run. So you're going to get the quarterback ranked out of the top 40. You're going to get the running back ranked 20 or 27th. I'm sorry, I almost said 5th again. If I would have said it again, he would have lost his shit.
I would have backhanded you.
You would. You fuck that. You would have got your ass beat right on this show too. But I see why. I see why these analysts and all these other people feel that way. Because last year was so bad that it's hard to rank these guys top 10, top 15, top 20, especially given the uncertainty of a new coach, new system.
But look, you're not judging them based off what you're predicting them to do next season based off the team around you.
But it still creeps in the mind though when making these lists.
These a little bit. But you play a little bit of factor, but it's not the end-all, be-all.
Right.
He really, when you come to position rankings, you want to judge the players around them and the team around them, but overall, you need to focus mainly on their ability.
I got you. You're right.
Their play, their vision. How are they adjusting to the NFL? How are they adjusting to the offense? How are their performance singly as based off of when it comes to these rankings?
Based off of just pure just the athlete itself as opposed to the system and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah, their skill set, their athletic ability. That's what you should be judging on. How they handle the ball. Are they fumbling? Their single-handed performance is how I feel you should mostly judge it. Now, the intangibles, when it comes to the team, or like a wide receiver, if you want to judge based off the quarterback that's throwing them the ball,
you're going to have to.
I get that a little bit.
But so running back, you're going to have basically the line in front of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel we have a quality offensive line
on paper.
And even with the injuries, we had guys. Now we have that depth, in my opinion. Something that we lacked last season. Now Jack Driscoll got in there. Nate Hairby got in there.
They got some playing time. Yep.
Don't get me wrong. These guys aren't going to be perennial all-pros, or they're not going to be guys that scare anyone, but they're serviceable offensive linemen that can come in here when called upon and do a decent job.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Dickerson in there too. I'm not saying I want him in there right away, but he's a nasty motherfucker, yo. I'm looking forward to that. But to play devil's advocate, man, I see why people are doing this. It's hard not to if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? The more and more I think about it, I'm like, I feel like we're being disrespected, and I say we, like I play for the fucking team and shit, but I feel like the Eagles are being disrespected because they have a right to be disrespected at this point. They got a lot to fucking prove. And to be honest with you, this should fuel the fire for these guys to get out there and excel and start playing. So, Booby, no problem, man. Yo, if you're ranked number 27th, then prove you're not 27th, man. Enough with the bullshit, man. Play. When this season starts, man, the first 2 weeks, you're going to realize either A, these lists are bullshit, or B, they seen this shit before we seen this shit. So that's that, man.
Well, yeah, basically these lists are talking points. It's a slow season. It's driving
up. Got us talking. Got you yelling.
It drives up conversation. It drives up views for their website.
Yeah.
It allows people like us on podcasts to have something to discuss in a slow time in the NFL offseason with training camp.
Slow.
With the training camp just on the way.
But
But
so So you feel like that's that much I mean, 25 is still like not the worst. You know what I'm saying? Like
27, and that's the 5th worst among starters in the NFL.
I know.
That is horrible.
I got you.
That is straight up garbage. That is straight up disrespect to a guy that has put in the work and has shown to be, in my opinion, a quality running back in this league. He is not a schmuck. So the guys behind him.
Okay. Yeah. Let me hear this.
So this is who he has behind him. He has Tevin Coleman from the Jets, a guy that had in 8 games 53 rushing yards.
Wow.
A guy that couldn't even get on the football field.
Okay.
He has Damian Harris.
Who?
From the New England Patriots, entering his 3rd season in 10 games at 691 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, 52 receiving yards.
All right.
And then 30 has Mark Ingram, who only played in 11 games. He's with the Houston Texans now for about 300 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Devin Singletary for 687 yards for the Buffalo Bills, played all 16 games last year and contributed on 38 receptions for 269 yards. And then he has the worst as Myles Gaskin from the Miami Dolphins, who had 584 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Now, here's his top 5, or I'll get top 10.
Let's do top 10.
So, because his top 5 is, to some people, a little, not concerning, but a little bit of a surprise. A certain player a certain player he left out. Ooh. So, number 1, he has Derrick Henry, which I agree with.
Hands down.
Dude, the guy that has led the NFL in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns over the last 3-4 seasons, had 2,000 yards rushing. He's a monster.
My cousin Muggsy loves that move. Go ahead.
Christian McCaffrey, granted, he probably arguably could have had the same season as Derrick Henry last year if he did not get injured. So he's coming off a big injury, but still one of the top running backs in the NFL, unless proven otherwise.
Yeah.
Number 3, he has Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Who they love him in New Orleans, and it's gonna be interesting to see without Drew Brees there if his production is going to drop down a bit, because Alvin Kamara, he's a workhorse out of the backfield, a dynamic playmaker, but he is just much of a playmaker in the passing game, a guy that they move around consistently. The only thing about Kamara, which I don't see him, I still see him top 5, but maybe 3 might be a little bit high. His production is there,
right?
But the fact that he's not really a 3-down running back in the NFL, they take him out on goal line situations. There's times that they take him out on other passing downs.
Right.
He's not a guy that can usually block too well, but he's definitely a stud running back in the league. And
he's almost like another wide receiver on the field.
Well, yeah, he had over 1,600 yards from scrimmage last year between rushing and receiving. So he's definitely a dynamic threat.
Yeah, he is.
Number 4, he had Dalvin Cook.
All right.
So definitely one of the up and comers in this league. 5th year in the league, had over 1,500 yards rushing, 361 yards receiving. So definitely one of the top in the game.
Yeah.
And then number 5, he has Nick Chubb. Which I love Nick Chubb. Look, he's on a bad Browns team, which looks like they could finally be turning the corner. I'm not trying to jinx any Cleveland Brown fans that might be watching this program, but look, they have Baker Mayfield. They have Nick Chubb, who's a monster, had 1,000 yards last year, entering his 4th season. But what name did I not say in his top 5?
The top 5, you didn't say Ezekiel Elliott.
Exactly.
Isn't he one of the top paid running backs?
He is.
Yeah.
Granted,
he is the top paid running back.
He does have him at 6.
Ezekiel. Oh, he has him at 6.
He has him at 6. I kind of feel
Nick Chubb in front of Ezekiel Elliott. That's interesting. That's real interesting. What are his stats? Read off his stats real quick.
15 games last year, 244 attempts for 979 yards, average 4 yards per carry, 6 rushing touchdowns, 52 receptions for 338 yards. But granted, that was behind a banged up offensive line and no Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's that's pretty impressive.
So, this is what they say about Zeke. The Cowboys had all sorts of issues last season, with the poorest defense to Dak Prescott's season-ending injury to more injuries wiping out the once dominant offensive line. And it showed Ezekiel Elliott's performance. The 2-time rushing champ averaged at a career-low 4 yards per carry in 2020 and shared touches with running back Tony Pollard. That's why this season feels like a make-or-break year for Zeke. The line is healthy, Dak is back, and the patience is wearing thin around Dallas. Based on Zeke's social media accounts, he'll be ready, which I agree with. And he's entering his 6th season. He's worn down, but Number 6?
Yeah. Nah, you know what? Based off of that, yeah.
I have him 5.
Right. 5 or 6, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the reason he has Chubb so highly is because I feel Maurice Jones-Drew considers Nick Chubb to be the next MJD.
Okay.
Look, they're those big bruiser backs that can pick up yards. They still have that burst of energy. They still have that speed, but they're those big physical power backs that opposing defenses have trouble stopping. Especially,
I was going to say those are the running backs that change games. When you're in the fourth or the third quarter and you need to just waste clock, those are the guys you want to go to, guys that can just extend that clock, man. And look, after hearing the first 5, I'm starting to think that, you know what, I see why he dropped. I see why Miles Sanders dropped, because he's not that. He's not a receiving back. You know what I'm saying? He's not the type of back that'll pick up that blitz out of nowhere. He's explosive. Don't get me wrong. He's athletic. He's explosive, but he doesn't jump off the page. So let's do the rest of this. So we're at number 6, right? So let's do.
I'll do
7.
top 10. Yeah. So number 7 has Barkley coming off a season injury after 2 games, but
that's fair.
Even before that,
yeah.
Look. The Giants' offensive line, I apologize, Tommy. I'm bashing your Giants. I'm sorry I have to say it, but their line is bad.
Fuck Tommy. No, look, I'm playing.
Barkley, even in 2 games, averaged 1.8 yards a carry.
Oof. Yeesh. Yeah. That's because a lot of teams just game plan for. If you take Barkley out, then you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, no one fears Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones had no playmakers besides Evan Ingram last season. Yeah. So I get that, but.
Put 8 in the box and then you win that game. You know
but still, if you don't have an offense, we're saying the same thing about Miles Sanders, and then why is there there's a little bit of a double standard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing Miles Sanders to Saquon Barkley, because I believe Saquon Barkley is far better and far beyond Miles Sanders currently at this moment. Barkley is one of the generational type of running backs in the National Football League, and if he can stay healthy, I see him in Canton. But you're going to have a guy like Saquon Barkley in the top 10 after the performance he had last year in those 2 games before that injury, because he was behind a horrendous offensive line. Yeah. But Miles Sanders doesn't get the same credit when he plays behind an offensive line that had, I think, between 14 to 16, 17 different combinations throughout the season because of the lack of depth and because of the injuries that they had. But Miles Sanders still showed to be productive in those games. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't a game breaker. He wasn't a big game changer. Nope. He has a potential to be, though, given the right circumstance, given the right offensive scheme, and given the players around him succeed, in which they did not do in 2020.
I agree. And you know what? That's probably the best way to put it. It's all woulda, coulda, maybe. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go on to the next one.
So number 8, Aaron Jones.
Okay.
Understandable. Had over 1,100 yards last season. And then number 9, Joe Mixon. I feel might be a little bit high given his injury history, but
his talent level, man, that guy's a beast.
And then I feel this guy should be a little bit higher than him. Yeah. And that's Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders, a guy that broke out, and now with him and Derek Carr, we expected the Raiders to turn the corner last season. They better freaking do it this season.
Well, if they don't, at that point, they're going to be in the same situation we're in. They're just going to rebuild. Trust me.
Oh, they're not going to rebuild. They have John Gruden there.
I'm saying, yeah. You know John Gruden. He'll just fire someone. It don't matter who you are. Trade someone. But that's a fair top 10. Based off of the top 10, I'm starting to understand where this guy, who was it, Maurice Jones-Drew, where his mindset is in making a list. So
this is garbage.
It's not great, but
it's garbage. He has guys, again, like Cam Akers, Austin Eckler, who had a decent season last year. I get that, but he's even low in my opinion at 15. Najee Harris, a guy who hasn't even stepped on the field, which Najee Harris is a beast coming out of Alabama. And especially with that Pittsburgh Steelers offense with Mike Tomlin going back to that old school Steelers mentality where they're going to rely on that run game, especially if Big Ben getting older. Najee Harris, if Devontae Smith doesn't get Rookie of the Year, definitely Najee Harris is going to be one in the running for one of those offensive Rookie of the Year candidates.
Awesome.
And then 17, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had over 1,000 yards. And that's I feel, a similar comparison to Miles Sanders last season. And he had a better team around him, a better quarterback, a guy that had just over almost 1,100 yards from scrimmage. And once again, he's 17, where Miles Sanders is 10 spots behind him.
Okay.
So
I
just feel there's a lot of disrespect. James Robinson at 18, Chris Carson at 19, Antonio Gibson from the freaking football team at 20.
The football team.
Leonard Fournette.
I like Leonard Fournette. He should have been higher on that list.
No way.
I think Leonard Fournette is pretty.
He's a backup.
Leonard Fournette's better than what is he at? 21. He's better than 21, man. I like Fournette.
He's washed up.
He's washed up.
So, yeah, look, I'm not saying the list is perfect. I'm saying I agree to some of it. Like the top 10, there's a couple interchangeable pieces that are very debatable. I agree with, but I feel Miles Sanders is way too low. And if you agree with me, leave a comment. Tell me how much of a moron Maurice Jones-Drew is for having Miles Sanders at 27. Tell us what you think of this horrendous NFL.com running backs list. Do you feel that Miles Sanders was disrespected? Do you feel Miles Sanders maybe should have been higher? Do you feel that's the right spot? Do you think I'm the moron for thinking that Miles Sanders should be higher? So sound off. Tell us what you think. Again, leave the comments. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing, sharing this episode of Birds, Beers, and BS as always.
Yes, sir.
So we're about the 25-minute mark.
All right.
I really don't have any other Eagles topics. Maybe
there's really nothing.
There's a couple other things, but I'm going to say that for a couple weeks show. I don't want to burn all the topics in 1 week. So.
Right. And we don't want to bore you guys out there, man. Let's keep this shit interesting. Let's keep Jeff angry. Let's keep it short and snappy, man.
So our next topic, we're going to discuss top 3 Marvel movies. So as you know, we're big superhero fans. We love the Marvel universe.
Yep.
Look, Loki.
We're nerds.
Look, it's okay. You can be a nerd. You can like football. I know plenty of people that like it all. So I apologize, but if you don't want to listen to Marvel, this is probably the time that you might want to tune out. See you later. Have a good holiday weekend.
Happy 4th of July.
But I didn't get to do my top 3, so I want to hear Peenut's top 3, and we're going to debate it.
3.
So
top 3 movies. Here we go. And here we go. My top 3 movies.
Go 3 to
3,
1.
2, 1. All right. Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. Okay. He's like, okay. Number 2, the original thing that actually set off the whole Marvel universe, Iron Man. And at my number 1, I got Avengers Civil War. You got something to beat that? You can't beat that. I even did shows too. Look, it's on my phone right there. See? And I even did worse movies too, which I bet you these are all Jeffrey's favorite movies.
Well, yeah, they're the worst. see, they're my favorite.
All right, so what are your top 3? He's Googling that shit.
Well, no, I'm just seeing what some of these are. I told you, I didn't freaking do it. We're just talking about your list and then debate it.
Nah, it's all good. So what do you think? I think my list is pretty solid, man.
I don't know.
All right, well.
Look, Endgame has to at least be in the top 3. Endgame was a freaking masterpiece.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like at number 1, I was thinking. Like here's the thing. Like when I was doing the list, I'm like I like Thor Ragnarok at number 3 because it was a different style of Marvel movie. It was a different way of looking at Thor. Iron Man had to be at least in the top 3 because literally that's the thing that set everything off. And to this day, I could watch that movie over and over and over again. Avengers Civil War and Endgame. I had to juggle that one. It was one of those like, I don't know, should I go with this one? So I went with Civil War, and the only thing that changed my mind with Civil War was the introduction of Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Civil War was a decent movie, but just everything in Endgame, you had the battle with Thanos. How are you gonna overconquer that? The dude just wiped out half of the world.
I get it.
And the fact that they were able to overcome that adversity, and then you had the sacrifice.
Yeah, but then with Civil War,
the sacrifice. If you haven't seen these movies, fuck you.
Yeah.
Go out there and watch it. I don't care if I'm about to throw out some spoilers out there if you don't watch Marvel. So, sorry.
Spoiler warning.
But the fact that Tony Stark sacrificed himself, I get it. I watched that movie even to this day. I tear jerk as a father to tell his daughter, I love you 3,000. And the fact that he sacrifices himself.
I get it.
For the good of the world and the good to make sure that his daughter has a future.
I base my list off of rewatchability. Like, what movie can I watch?
Rewatchability.
What can I rewatch? Oh, I thought Avengers Civil War kind of etched it out just a little bit, man.
Bullshit.
Just a little bit, man.
Top 5, yes. Not top 3, dude. Okay, look, I brought up an article from Rotten Tomatoes, and I want to go down the list for you. So this is how they rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe as from worst to best. So they have currently the worst movie. They have Thor: Dark World.
I agree. Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah, that really did nothing for me. Nope. I don't think it's the worst. I honestly feel the worst is the next one, Incredible Hulk.
Which one?
The Incredible Hulk.
Is it the Edward Norton or the Banner one?
The recent the
newest one before. The recent one before they recast, because the other series I don't think has anything to do with this. It didn't have anything. It doesn't.
Which even the regular Incredible Hulk had nothing to do with the whole cinematic universe.
It was supposed to, but what happened was
it bombed.
Norton wanted out. That was the issue with that.
No one gives a shit about the Incredible Hulk as a solo movie.
I so agree with the next one too.
So third worst, they have Iron Man 2.
Yep.
So this is what they say about Iron Man 2. It says, it isn't quite the breath of fresh air that Iron Man was, but the sequel comes close with solid performances and action-packed plot, which I agree with, but it really didn't do much. I'm a little bit of a homer. My 2 top favorite superheroes is Spider-Man and Iron Man. So I don't mind watching Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3 I kind of felt was worse than Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 3 was way worse than Iron Man 2. Especially with the whole fake Mandarin plot and all that shit.
That was
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was garbage.
What they got next?
Number 20, they have Avengers Age of Ultron.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that's a little too low for Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty good.
Rotten Tomatoes has that 76%.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, this is all based off people voting, I guess.
Yeah.
People voting based off the percentage of the rating. So they're going from the lowest rating to the highest rating.
Gotcha.
Thor at number 19, 77%.
Okay.
Number 18, Captain Marvel at 79.
One of my worst.
Iron Man 3, 17, 79%, which I feel might be a little bit too high, like I said.
It should have been swapped with Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 I felt was a little bit better.
The first Avengers on there. Oh, shit.
Number 16, Captain America, First Avenger.
Which I actually enjoyed.
15, Ant-Man at 83%.
No. Ant-Man should not be up there. Go ahead.
Well, you have to remember.
I got you.
Well, we're starting in the middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. We're at 15 right now, so there's a and
it should be higher though.
I don't know if it should be higher, but let's go down the rest of the list. See what they have. Guardians of the Galaxy at 14, which I feel is too low.
Yeah,
I love Guardian of the Galaxy.
Same.
Especially when Michael Rooker's character.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And him.
Holy shit, we agree on something.
So number 13, they have Infinity War.
See? Go ahead, keep going.
Well, no, Infinity War is 13. I agree with.
You're talking about Endgame.
Because remember, they're 2 separate movies. Number 12, they have Ant-Man and the Wasp at 87. So the fact that they have the sequel better than the original, that's straight up bullshit.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
That's straight up bullshit.
That is bullshit.
Don't get me wrong, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I enjoyed both movies. I thought they were both.
I enjoy pretty much all Marvel movies. Doctor Strange at 11, which is fair, 89.
Doctor Strange was great.
Winter Soldier, number 10 with 90%.
Okay.
Now it looks like all the Spider-Man movies are.
So now we're at the top 10.
We're top 10 now.
So Winter Soldier is at 10.
Winter Soldier's at 10. Number 9, they have Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy, which fair for them.
Yeah.
Civil War, they have 7 at 90%. So
I love Civil War.
So they say this: the Captain America Civil War begins the next wave of Marvel movies with an action-packed superhero blockbuster, boasting a decidedly non-cartoonish plot and the courage to explore thought-provoking themes.
Okay. All right.
So that's their analysis on Captain America Civil War.
Right.
Number 6, Marvel's The Avenger at number 6, 91%.
Right.
Which everyone's gonna. The first Avengers movie, that was an iconic moment.
Yeah, it was.
When you heard that theme music, when they assembled when you heard them say Avengers Assemble, I was there in the movie theaters opening night. The place erupted.
Yeah.
So definitely everyone's going to go over the original as one of the greats.
Hulk smash. That was my favorite part right there.
Then number 5, Spider-Man Homecoming at 92%.
I think that's a little high.
It might be a little bit high, but I think the reason for it is because Spider-Man is one of the more popular Marvel characters,
and I think
this was his first single movie back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Plus, Tom Holland was a great cat.
He does a tremendous job.
Yeah, that was a perfect casting.
Yeah, look, Tony Maguire, he was, I feel, better out of the two between him and Garfield. Tony Maguire was more that nerdish. He can pull off the nerd a little bit. Where Andrew Garfield, he was too good looking to be freaking Peter Parker.
You said it.
Well, look, when you think of Peter Parker, and when you think of Spider-Man, especially in the comics, you had this nerd, this guy that loves science.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting the girls originally until being Spider-Man allowed him to venture out of his shell.
Okay.
So I feel Andrew Garfield, they should have made him a little bit more nerdy. They made Spider-Man seem like he was this cool kid who likes science.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
I think they rushed it too. I think they were trying to build on the whole Sinister Six thing.
Yeah.
So they were like just shoving things in at the end of the movie of what was it, Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Where it was like the Rhino. They just tried to clump everything. It was a little messy. I agree.
So I agree. Tom Holland, perfect fit. I hope they continue him in the cinematic universe. He continues to make movies because he does a tremendous job.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Number 4, Thor Ragnarok with 93%.
All right, so that was close.
Number 3, Iron Man 94.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Endgame, baby. 94%. And this is what the critics had to say, saying exciting, entertaining, and emotional, impactful Avengers Endgame does whatever it takes to deliver a satisfying finale to Marvel's epic Infinity Saga, which I completely agree. Because after this, we transition into the new phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You now have what's his name? The dude that's the new Captain America.
Falcon. Yeah, Falcon.
So now you have Falcon.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now you have Falcon transitioning to become that leader possibly of the Avengers.
Which I love.
What's going to happen now that Tony Stark is dead and there's no more Iron Man?
Right.
You have the Winter Soldier involved now with Bucky being back. So there's tons of new plot, and now we're starting a new phase. And that's why Endgame has to be considered at least, if not top 2, it has to be at least considered top 3.
Well, yeah.
So the fact that
I wrestled with that. I did, but I couldn't do like 2 Avengers in the same top 3. So I had to pick one. I picked Civil War. It would have been in my top 5, but I Civil War to me was just it was a breath of fresh air to see all those characters and not all those characters, but all those characters interacting and fighting each other. I thought it was, and plus the scene at the end with Tony Stark and Captain America when they're fighting. Tell me that's not dope, man.
It's dope, but it was dope, but it was one of those movies where it.
Oh man, come on!
It dragged out a little bit, but they had to somehow introduce new characters. That's where we see Black Panther.
Yes.
That is where we see Spider-Man enter this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yep. So the plot overall, look, there's a lot of action. There's a lot of great scenes, a few memorable moments. The plot just kind of sucked.
The plot sucked?
Well, it's predictable. If you read the comics, you knew what was going to happen.
Well, not necessarily. It didn't follow the comic books. It didn't follow
exactly. But they're fighting. One's fighting for human rights. One's fighting for superhero rights. It's essentially.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I get what you're saying. And you know what? You're not wrong for choosing that as your number one. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what you choose, listen, I get it. But between the two, I just felt like. I don't know. It was rewatchability. Civil War was one of those movies where I'm like, you know what, I could watch it. Me and my son Evan were watching it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was like, "Who's this? Who's that?" And it's so nice to have that introduction of characters and not make it feel rushed or not make it feel like you bunched everything together.
But I feel they were. Sorry, I shouldn't say the plot. I feel the way they panned that movie out. I felt the jumping around was way too much. Like you would go from. To Black Panther's story and what's happening with him. You would then go to Spider-Man. How is he getting introduced to Tony Stark taking on this internship and all that? How they acclimate him. So, and then you're going back and forth between the whole feud between Tony Stark and Captain America. I just felt there was too much jumping around.
Okay.
And the way they well, what's the word I'm looking for? The way they planned it out, the way they organized the movie, the way it was, I just felt it did not flow well until the end when they had their iconic fight and the iconic moment.
But here's the thing, like for the first time ever, you got a Spider-Man movie, right? What was it? Homecoming was the first one.
Yeah.
You got a Spider-Man movie and you didn't get the origin story. You didn't have to have the origin story.
Thank God they did not do that.
You know what I'm saying? No more Uncle Ben, no more. You didn't have to watch it all happen again. We got to jump right into Spider-Man because of Civil War. If there was no Civil War,
really,
technically, yeah, man.
Well, no, because they could have done the same thing. They could have said that, oh, he's living with his aunt or his uncle. His uncle passed. They could have skipped that regardless, which they did. Even Civil War, they really didn't bring up the whole situation of Uncle Ben dying.
They kind of like touched on it,
or what happened to his parents and this and that. Yeah, they addressed it, but they didn't make a whole movie out of it.
Right.
Basically, he shows up. They introduce him. Tony Stark gets him to become his intern, and then he gets the suit, starts freaking fighting.
Like a luchadora.
Pretty much.
All right.
So number one, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't in your top three because
you know what?
It's very influential, especially in today's time, in today's modern
I thought trust me,
America.
It was in my top 5. It wasn't in my top 3. But
so number one, if you are a Marvel fan, you probably realize I did not say this movie, and they have number one as Black Panther being with 96%. It is in
my top 5.
They say Black Panther elevates superhero cinema to thrilling new heights while telling one of MCU's most absorbing stories and introducing some of its most realized characters.
Facts.
My question is, where the hell's Black Widow going to be on this once that comes out in a couple weeks? It's going to be, honestly, I know Marvel is trying to get that women hero, that women superhero that like young girls and young females in America can like look up to, and because again, it's all about equal rights. Nothing against that, but I just feel
it's all about equal rights. I think it's gonna blow people's socks off, man. I think they're gonna go above and beyond to make sure this Black Widow story is gonna be.
I'm not a big fan of Black Widow.
Captain Marvel sucked.
Well, what does Black Widow really do that's really superhero? She doesn't have any superpowers.
So what? Batman don't got superpowers. Oh, that's I shut him up there.
That's different because DC.
Don't even start the DC Marvel shit.
And Marvel. 99% of their guys have some type of superpowers.
Right.
Where DC, or sorry, I shouldn't say superpowers. I forget how they worded it. I read.
It's all good. Go ahead.
So Marvel, I'm trying to think of what I read in the article, but basically they all have like genetic mutation when it comes to their powers.
Right.
Where DC, besides I think Superman, it's all even besides Superman, all of them are like man-made powers. Batman.
Right. Batman, Rorschach.
Yeah.
There's characters that don't have powers. And here's the thing.
Well, technically Superman's an alien.
Well, yeah.
So it's not like he's not genetic mutated like Marvel.
Him coming to this universe gave him the power, or gave him his power. But I don't know. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing Black Widow. First of all, I fucking love Scarlett Johansson as an actor.
Yeah,
as an actor. But I like the character Black Widow because there's more to her than what people are seeing. You know what I'm saying? So to explain the background of it, that's something I'd like to see.
And that's why I think they're doing it, because look, she's one of those superheroes, one of the Avengers that got overshadowed throughout this series. There was never really a main focus besides the time where she was with S.H.I.E.L.D. And with Clark Gregg and with the Avengers. You really didn't get to see her story, hear her side of things. How is Black Widow taking the whole death of Tony Stark now? And so we're going to see a lot of that.
I thought it was like
series.
Well, she's dead. Huh? She died. She's dead.
Oh yeah.
So
that's right.
This story is going to be
sacrificed herself with
Thanos. This story is going to be before this all happens.
Do you know what timetable it is?
It's got to be because she was an Avenger. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking
that's probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to do. I didn't read up the whole synopsis or description of the movie, but it's probably how did she get in with S.H.I.E.L.D. and how did she become an Avenger? So okay,
yeah, because she's moving forward. There is no Black Widow.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
Once again, she's a character that's forgotten about quite quite a lot, which is why I didn't remember her sacrificing herself over over what's his name?
Yeah, over Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, that's it.
So Hawkeye, another guy that has no powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen. First of all, it's directed by a woman too. Mm-hmm. So it's supposed to be nonstop action. It's supposed to be the edge of your seats storytelling. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I have more faith in this movie than I had in Wonder Woman. And I'm looking forward to seeing the actual, it's basically, I'm guessing, an origin story. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, man.
Awesome. Well, any final thoughts before we get out here on another great episode of Birds, Beers, and BS?
Nah, man. You know what? Congratulations to my cousin Senny, man. She just got married. Wilson, welcome to marriagehood. It's the same shit anyways, but enjoy it. Love each other. Other than that, man, have a happy 4th of July weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Have fun, man.
Definitely happy 4th of July. Just want to give a big shout out to one of my all-time favorite sports announcers, announcing his retirement this week, Sixers play-by-play announcer, Mark Zumoff, one of the all-time greats in my opinion, very, very influential when it came to me wanting to go into the broadcasting business and trying to be a sports announcer and a sports broadcaster. Just his energy, his intelligence, just the way he displayed himself on and off the camera. Him, Harry Kalas, and two of the all-time greats, now no longer announcing. Harry Kalas unfortunately passed away years ago. And now the one left is Merrill Reese. So it's going to be a devastating day when my childhood, when it came to sports announcers that I followed and enjoyed listening to, are no longer here or no longer announcing. So it just shows you that you're getting old.
Yeah.
I would say time passes you by and everything just eventually time catches up to you and life gets in the way. Happy retirement to him. Great, tremendous Hall of Fame career. We're going to miss those great announcing moments. Some of his great one-liners. That's the one thing I enjoyed when it came to announcing. Gus Johnson, one of those guys in the NCAA tournament in college football, he gives you those great one-liners that you just chuckle and laugh and enjoy. Mark Zumoff was the same. When it came to they're on the seesaw, or they're locking all windows and doors, or the yes! Those Iverson years, they were so exciting. So he will be missed. It's going to be interesting to see who they bring up to replace Mark Zumoff. But we have to pay some bills here again. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to another great episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. I am your host again, Eagle Jeff Warner. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Warner NFL. My co-host alongside here is Peenut. You can follow him on Twitter at PartyDollDave1, which is right here in the background. Give him a shout out. Once again, follow, like, subscribe, share it out to your friends. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think of our conversation today. Tell us if you feel Miles Sanders was disrespected with that running back ranking. Do you agree with Peenut's top 3 Marvel list or the list on Rotten Tomatoes as far as your favorite Marvel movies and what comes to that Marvel list?
Yes.
So again, follow, like, subscribe, share it out, tell your friends, give us a view, give us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you missed this show, just want to listen to the audio version. If you're in the car, in the shower, whatever, we are available on all podcasting networks, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also at AATBirds.com. So pay some bills real quick. Again, this episode was powered by our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. Vinny's Pizza is located off Iroquois Trail in Old Town Shopping Center in Allentown. They are open Monday through Saturday, serving you their delicious Italian cuisine that includes pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more. Check them out and their daily and game day special today. They are available for pickup or delivery. Order today by calling 610-395-2300 or visiting Vinny'sPizzaPA.com. Again, 610-395-2300 or Vinny'sPizzaPA.com. Tell Vinny and Caesar that the Birds, Beers, and BS crew sent you. They will treat you right. And great food, great pizza. If you are in the Lehigh Valley area, again, the Old Town Shopping Center in Allentown.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to also thank our sponsor, Manscaped. Gentlemen, Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and just launched their new Lawnmower 4.0. And you might ask, How is the features on the Lawnmower 4.0 different from any other trimmer? Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade that reduces grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology and has a wireless charging system. That is key right there.
Key. Yeah.
So now is the time to get your 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. Again, that's AATBirds at manscaped.com. And for all the females listening, you'll appreciate this part, as Manscaped products are cruelty-free, paraben-free, dye-free, and vegan.
Yeah.
So again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code AATBirds.
Yes, sir.
Also like to thank one of our sponsors, OddsJam. It is the #1 software platform for sportsbook bandits. Their software shows you how to make risk-free cash off FanDuel, DraftKings, and other books with their Arbitrage Calculator. You'll never lose a bet again, so sign up today at oddsjam.com. The referral link is in the comment section, so if you are interested in more with OddsJam, make sure you use our AATBirds referral link. It does help us out quite a bit.
Yes, it does.
We like also to thank 99jerseys.com. Get 20% off your next order by using discount code AATBirds20. Again, that's AATBirds20. It did change since our previous show. You can check out their wide selection of quality kick-ass jerseys of your favorite sports movie characters and throwback jerseys of some of your favorite stars. Yep. Again, order today, 99jersey.com, and save 20% off using the discount code AATBirds.
Yes, sir.
One of our other fantasy sponsors, you can check out Statement Games Inc. for a fun new way, the fantasy sports and entertainment. You can win gift cards and prizes, and biggest thing here, it is free to sign up. Sign up today at statementgames.com. Again, another referral link in the comment and the description of this episode, so make sure to use that link to help AATBirds out if you're interested. Once again, it is free to sign up. They have tons of different games, from sporting events, entertainment events, so make sure to check them out. They're constantly updating on a daily basis.
And it's fun.
And once again, AATBirds Network, we are continuing to grow. We're continuing to expand. We're getting newer shows. We're now covering the Philadelphia Union with our new great show, Across the Pitch, Thursday nights on the AATBirds Network at 8 p.m. So make sure to check them out. Or if you're a soccer fan, all their episodes are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel exclusively. Make sure you're subscribing to our AATBirds YouTube channel. But you can also get our AATBirds gear, the Birds, Beards, and BS gear, and all our AATBirds Network gear from all our shows at AATBirds.com/shop. Yep. Again, AATBirds.com/shop. We have hats, we have koozies, we have different types of shirts, we have stickers, we have mugs. So tons of great products. And again, help support AATBirds. It helps us quite a bit. Supporting our sponsors helps supports us.
Yes, sir.
Make sure, again, you are following all our social media platforms. Follow, like, subscribe, and share all AATBirds social media platforms for the greatest and latest content on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. If you missed the show, not a problem at all. You can catch any of our content on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to get notified of new content and leave us a review. Again, check us out on YouTube. Exclusively this show. You can check out the video version. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We want to try to get those numbers up. We're right about 220 or so. So if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Once again, we want to get those numbers up. It drives more traffic to our page, drives up those views. Share it out. Family members that want to watch our show or might be entertained by us. Or if you just know us and think we're great guys, share it out.
Even if you think we're assholes.
Yeah.
Check us out. Take your mom's phone, subscribe, and notifications. Do it.
And the last thing I have to say is the tremendous work that our writers are doing on AATBirds.com. We are credentialed by the Philadelphia Union. We're on the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs media credential email list. Yes. We just got added to the Eagles email list. So we're building this platform, and our writers are doing a tremendous job with daily content. Nice. So again, make sure to check out AATBirds.com. There is also an exclusive offer on AATBirds.com where you can bet $20 and win $100 regardless of the outcome of your bet when it comes to the NBA playoffs, NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, baseball right now. So that is thanks to our friends at Sports Gambling Guides. Again, AATBirds.com. It'll be a banner right up top. Click that banner. It'll take you to our referral link. Sign up today. Bet $20. You win $100 regardless if your bet wins or not. So Exactly. Free money. Free money, which I think it's free money you have to use on the gambling site. So it's not like you can just cash out right away.
Good.
But still, you use that money to gamble with other events and try to build that. But we are not encouraging any type of gambling. You have to be 21 or older to use this product. Yes. And if you do have a gambling addiction, make sure you contact someone at 1-800-GAMBLER today.
Yep. Hey.
Great
Damn, son.
Great. I know. A lot of reasons. That's what I'm talking about. Birds, Beers, and BS, the AATBirds Network. We are growing. We are expanding. We have all these sponsors that want to get out their products and their services to you. Yeah. So please help us out. I'm not trying to be
we're begging. Fuck that. Please. Please.
Not trying to be desperate, but
we desperate. Fuck it.
But look, we're doing a great job here on AATBirds. We are expanding. We're over a year in, but a lot of improvements. So once again, we'll be back again next week here on Birds and Beers and BS. Have a safe holiday weekend.
Yep.
And make sure, once again, follow, like, subscribe, share it out. But as we say here on Birds, Beers, and BS, I'm Eagle Jeff. Peanut, thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Drink him if you got him,
motherfucker.